Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of It's All About Spice. I'm Sean.
And I'm Hina.
And today Hina's going to walk us through how she makes Indian roti. You want to talk real quick about what roti is, Hina?
Yeah, roti is like an Indian flatbread. It's very common in northern side of India. I grew up eating roti every single day. So it's that common in India. So yeah, it's easy to make. At least it's easy to make with KitchenAid, which is what we're going to show today. But if you had to roll the dough and everything with your hands, it's a little bit more painful. But
is that grandmother approved?
Not really.
Not
but
really. We won't tell her.
Yes, yeah.
Nobody tell grandma we're using the KitchenAid.
Yes, we're taking a shortcut today with the KitchenAid, but it works. It really works. So yeah, that's what we'll do.
Okay, so a simple dough for a flatbread, and this does differ a little bit from naan. Those of you who are familiar with naan, naan's a lot thicker, and this is made with a flour called durum, whole wheat flour. So just so you know that there's a difference there. So yeah, let's jump right in. This will be fun.
Well, do you want to introduce our little helper today who's sitting in that corner?
Yeah, we've got Max today helping us.
Yes. So to make roti, we just need a handful of ingredients. It's a really simple process. So we're going to start with whole wheat flour, which is what I have here. This is about 2 cups of whole wheat flour. You can get this in Indian grocery stores. I don't know if you get it in like Publix and Target. So you can get it for sure in Indian grocery stores. It's whole wheat flour. So we're going to use that. And so I have 2 cups of whole wheat flour. I'm going to transfer this in my bowl here. And then we're going to put a pinch of salt. So there it goes, a little bit of salt. All right, and that's about it for the flour. Now we're going to connect it to our KitchenAid. And this really is magic. It really is. I mean, I was so used to making roti and atta the traditional way. And then when I got the KitchenAid, I started making pastas with it. And then one day I was just like, let me just try to see how the dough would turn out for a roti. And I did it, and it came out perfect. And since then, I've just been using the KitchenAid. So, all right, so I've got the atta and the salt in here. And then I'm just going to use this attachment, which is, I think it's the mixing attachment. I don't know what it's called. Now, once we start this, what I'll do is I have about 1 cup of water here, and I'm going to slowly pour water in here and sort of keep an eye on the consistency of the dough. We don't want it to be too runny. Okay, so we'll start this. I have it at low setting, it's 1 speed setting, and now I'm just going to pour the water and then stop, and let's just watch how it goes. Alright, so I'm going to pour some more water in here. Okay, looks like we can do a little more. So what you're really looking for is you want the atta to just mix really well. Looks like it's almost there. I'm just going to add some more water in here. A little bit more. Okay, I think this should do it. So I'm going to turn this off, lift it up, and okay. So I think this is mostly done. Now, if I look at the water, I think I've used about 2/3 of water for 2 cups of flour. Okay. And it's nice in consistency. When you want to look for good consistency, you put your finger in, and when it comes out, you don't want too much dough in it sticking to it. Okay, so the next one is, I'm going to use this attachment. Okay, so I've got that attachment. I'll lock it and then just turn it on. And now you don't need to add any water. You've added all the water you need. Just let it run for about, I would say, a minute, and then look at the consistency of the dough. You can run it for another minute, and that's fine. The good thing about the roti flour or atta is that there is no concept of overworking it. I mean, you can let it run and you can still make good roti out of it. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn this off and lift it up and just look at it. So it looks really nice right now, but I'm gonna let it just run for another minute. So let's lock that and another minute of that. My dough is almost done. I have prepped my board, which is what I'm going to use. You can just use a plate for this as well. I've just put some flour in here, and this is what we're going to use to make the little roti balls. Okay, so it's ready to go. I'm going to get it out of this attachment. Okay, cool. So this is my dough. So as you can see, it's nice and soft. It looks like it is a little bit loose because it's sticking to my fingers a little bit, but don't worry about that because that's why I have some flour here. I can just try this, and this is good. All right, so this is what you're looking for. You know, when you touch it, you don't want any dough to come on your finger, and that's it. It's good, it's ready to go. So it's as simple as that. I mean, I really didn't have to do a whole lot. Okay, so the next step in making roti is we're gonna make little round balls, and then we're gonna roll them out and then cook them on a pan. Okay, so, all right, so you just have to try this out. I don't have any measurement, unfortunately, for you for this, but really what I did is I just picked up a little piece, and then I'm gonna make a little dough ball out of this. So you're looking for a size kind of like that. A little bit here and there isn't gonna hurt. Okay, so I've got the little dough balls in here. I've got about 6. So typically you would do like 2 to 3 per person. So next what you want to do is you want to press this in some flour and just flatten them out a little bit, kind of like this. And this is my mom's way of doing it and my grandmom's way of doing it. You can flatten out a little bit more so it becomes easier to roll it, kind of like that. Okay, so that's really what we're looking for. Next, now we're ready to roll it. So dredge this into flour. All right, so we're gonna roll this out. The trick when you're doing this is to put the pressure as much as possible on the center of the roti and keep a light hand so this automatically kind of turns around like you can see here. And practice is the key here. The more you do it, the better you get at it. I think it's one of those things. It took me years to learn this. And if it starts to stick to the bottom of this block, then you can just cover it in some more flour like this. It, you know, really doesn't hurt. And shake it off, and there we go. All right, I think this is good. You don't want it to be too thin. I think this is really good. Now, let me see, I have a pan here. I want this to be nice and hot. Looks like it is. So I'm going to transfer my roti from here up onto here. There you go. Okay, so we'll flip it. Okay, so you can see all these little, tiny little bubbles in here. That means it's cooking. Flip it again. And this time you can see how it's turned nice color instead of looking yellow.
Oh, it's starting to puff up.
That's what I'm hoping for. All right, there we go. So this, I use this to press the roti so it can puff up. All we're doing is we're just putting some pressure on one end of the roti so it can
Wow, look at
Turn
that.
into this little. So this is nice. This is a perfect roti, I think. Not every one of them will turn out like this, but even 1 out of 6, I think that's a plus. All right, so there you go. This is it's a pot. I think in India it's called a hot pot. You can find these in Indian grocery stores. They're called a hot pot. So the concept is that, I don't know how they're made, but the concept is when you put stuff in it and you close the lid, it keeps it warm for, I don't know, maybe like 3-4 hours. So it's really good. It works really well for roti. What you do is you put a paper towel on the base and then keep putting your cooked roti in it and then cover it with another layer of paper towel. That's it. And then, you know, tighten this thing like that, and that's it. So when we're ready to eat the roti, our roti will come out like nice and soft. Otherwise, if you leave it out here in the open, the roti tends to become like very crispy and crunchy.
Which is probably why you don't find it in restaurants, because it really has to go from the pan to the plate.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, my pan's really hot. Okay. All right, so I'm just gonna do this for all of these.
Okay, so we have our roti and our keeper. Wow, it's been in here for a little while because we made dinner. So I'm gonna grab one. It's nice and hot. Looks beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, put this on here. And in traditional Indian style, I'm gonna take a little piece like this.
Yes.
Right? And use it as a vessel to grab a little bite of my dinner. And delicious.
Yeah? You like it?
Try it at home. Super simple. And it's a great accompaniment to your Indian dinner or any dinner.
Yeah. I love it. It's very good.
Great job, Hina. So we're going to wrap up this one and we'll see you next time.
See you.